I am sitting on the edge of the Great Drakensberg Mountain Escarpment. The Drakensberg Mountains form the backbone of Southern Africa. The highest point, less than 20 kilometers from us, is 11,400 feet. And what I'm doing here is about to take a trip over 13 programs in four-wheel drive vehicles of all kinds. What we're going to be doing in this series is exploring four-wheel drive in as many facets as we can possibly think of, and travel to some of the most beautiful and diverse locations only accessible by four-wheel drive in the subcontinent of Southern Africa. When you visit a new car showroom, you're likely to be given one of these, or one of these. And then you walk into another showroom and you get given one of these. The trouble is, buying a 4x4, it's not like buying a car. When you buy a car, you think of perhaps it's the badge, the image. Or if you're a farmer, it's maybe how many pigs you can put in the back. If you're a tradesperson, it's the payload. If you've got children, how many passengers it can carry. Or maybe you're a petrol head and you're only interested in how quickly you can get to 100. Or maybe it's looks. On the other hand, maybe it isn't. However, when selecting a four-wheel drive, there are a whole lot of other questions that need to be asked. And most people that come and select a four-wheel drive don't know that they don't know. And what they've got to do is find out enough so that they know that they don't know, or something like that. So the day comes when you take your shiny new four-wheel drive out of the showroom, having selected it using only the standard buying a car questions, and you take it off-road, take it over some rough ground, do a bit of four-wheeling. That's often when the learning starts. And the trouble is that learning can be quite an expensive and frustrating process. If you're lucky, you stay happy. But many 4x4s are a disappointment to their owners, not because there's anything wrong with them, but it's because 4x4 can mean so many different things. So I welcome you to a brand new series of four-wheel drive, where we're going to ask and answer these questions. And we're going to do it today driving this vehicle, a Subaru Forester, on this trail. This is probably the twistiest mountain pass in the world, the Sani Pass in the southern Drakensberg. And why are we going to do it in this vehicle? It's not a 4x4 in the traditional sense. 4x4 in that sense is rugged, off-road. This is a saloon car. But is it a four-wheel drive? Most definitely is a four-wheel drive. So we're going to see how far we can take this vehicle up this trail. I've been to Sani Pass about 4 times. I never get tired of it. And I think I'm just going to come back again and again and again until I eventually tire it, and I reckon then probably it'll lose its character. But it's just wonderful.
Hi.
Andrew.
Andrew, Henk, pleased to meet you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Where are you guys going? Yeah, no, when you just take it slow,
Yeah.
should be fine, no problem. Maybe the last little bit you have to put it in four-wheel low.
There's no low on this car.
No low.
Oh dear.
Really? Okay.
Okay, well, phone us if you want us to come feature.
Well, it's automatic. It's automatic, so it should be fine. Low would be nice, but it's not absolutely necessary. I'll get away with it with the auto. With
First
the
gear
Okay.
should be fine.
Yeah. Safe travel. Bye bye. Well, he's had a good time. He said to me that I needed low range for the top bit. We don't have low range, so this is a good example really, because a four-wheel drive will take you so far, and if it's not equipped with all the bits and pieces, will it take you that final bit? It would be terrible if we got all the way to the top and we couldn't make that last bit and had to come all the way back. So the two most important choices you have to make when selecting a four-wheel drive is, how much clearance has it got? And is it enough? And does it have low range gearing? And if not, do I really need it? Well, if you want to do this kind of thing, then you're going to definitely need low range. Basically what low range is an extra gearbox attached to the drive shaft, and it lowers all forward gears. So if you have 5 normal forward gears, low range transfer box will give you 10 forward gears. The lower 5 will mean that you will be able to do this kind of stuff. The most common mistake is somebody will think, no, I don't really need it, and on their first or second off-road trip they find that they do. But that doesn't mean to say that a vehicle without low transfer gearing can't go to adventurous places. That's not true at all. The vehicle we're driving now has no low transfer gearing. It has reasonable clearance, not outstanding clearance, not as much as most traditional 4x4s, but it has reasonable clearance for this kind of driving. Where have you come from?
We come from Germany.
Yes?
Yes.
Hired car.
What?
Is this a hired car?
What is a hired
You
car?
hire the car from Avis? Or?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
the best kind of off-roader is a hired car. Are you enjoying
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, it's good.
How long have you been here?
We arrived last Friday
Okay.
and for 2.5 weeks.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay.
Okay.
And yeah, we have now a trip in the Drakensberg
Okay.
and to the Sani Pass, and in the next week we want a safari for the kids in Uhlanga.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
Okay. It's fun.
Okay.
15 serpentine curves.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
And a lot of rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Okay.
That is very similar to the Forester in that it is all-wheel drive, reasonable clearance, not brilliant, but okay, no low range. And they are obviously not experienced off-road drivers, and they're having a ball.
How you doing? You are strong and well, thanks, man.
You guys actually insane or what?
It's a lot of fun, eh? Good, man. Hey, you guys filming the pass? I know you, Andrew, eh? I done a four-wheel drive course with you. Yeah, many years ago. You well?
And you're still alive.
Yeah. I thought I'll do something safe afterwards and buy a dirt bike. Alright, enjoy, guys.
Okay, thanks for this.
No worries. Cheers, eh? Bye.
Starting to get a little bit cold now. We're just under 9,000 feet. The clouds coming over. Just after 3 in the afternoon, and we're next to the snow line. I can actually see quite a bit of snow now lying around us. The snow was lying here very thick about a week ago.
Grasps for breath at this high altitude. Will we make it back?
You're battling with the altitude.
Yeah, and the smell of rubber.
Well, here we are at the top, 9,400 feet, and that is the border post there. So what we've actually been driving in is no man's land between the South African border at the bottom and the Lesotho border right there. And right over there is the highest pub in Africa. That is the Sani Top Chalets, and that's where we're going to spend the night. What is the coldest you've ever seen on that thermometer?
Gets to minus 15 in winter.
Minus 15.
Minus 15.
And I heard that it snowed last week. I see some snow still on the ground. Was it snowing here?
Yes, it was. You know, for 2 days people couldn't come up here.
Oh, okay.
So the road was closed.
Close it, yeah.
Yes, and the people who were here we had to open the road for them to go down.
Oh, really? So does that bring you a lot of business, or does it prevent a lot of business when the snow falls?
It prevents a lot of business because now cars can't come up.
Yeah.
And the people who are here can go out. So really, the coldest recorded here was 17.5, minus 17.5.
Okay. But 15, you were saying, is
Common.
common.
It's a common here. It's common.
Right. And during your winter months, do you get like months of snow, or does it come in short bursts and then clear up and then come back? How does it?
Like months of,
Okay.
because it takes a long time. If say it snows in June,
Yeah.
it's going to stay like that for quite a long time.
Until August?
Until August, and then it starts melting.
Okay. This is autumn, early winter. We're up now above Sani Top Chalets, 7 in the morning, and it is absolutely frigid. I haven't measured the temperatures, but it must be close to zero, maybe a little bit lower, with a good 15 knots of wind, which is making it incredibly cold. But man, is the view worth it.
Yes?
Hey!
Oh,
How are you?
we are quite well, fine. What about you?
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Where do you come from?
Sunny Top.
Sunny Top.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. All right, we want to see this country.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Is it beautiful?
It's beautiful.
How do you like it?
I love it. All right. We've travelled this morning about 10 kilometres from Sani, which is over there, far right, in that little dip there. And this road heads northeast to Motlong, and that's the town we're going to now. And we've taken a little detour, and at this point, this is the closest a car can get to the highest point in all of southern Africa. It's called Tabana Klenyana, and it's in that direction over there. And you can't really see it because this part of Lesotho all looks so similar. And that highest point looks like just another high hill. It's at its highest point, it's 11,400 feet. And we are still about 1,000 feet below that point. We are in the town of Motlong. Here we have met up with Jordan Price, a US Peace Corps volunteer.
I've been having a sore throat. Hey, but it's only sore in the morning, not the rest of the day. Hey, what should I buy? Do I need to make a tea, or do I just bite it and chew on
I
it?
don't know what is that.
To grind it?
Yeah, you grind it,
Okay.
and after that, you put it inside here. Little bit you put inside.
Okay. Hey, Kelebo and Daddy.
Kale wonder.
Ah, di komut seo.
One of the wonders of traveling in Africa is traditional frontier towns like this. You get traditional shops, traditional medicines. And a friend of ours we met at Sani Top last night, his name's Jordan, he's the American Peace Corps worker. And he has he's shared with us some wonderful things about the Lesotho and about the Lesotho way of doing things. I feel totally safe here. You know, unlike so many towns in South Africa, I feel totally at ease with the people, totally at ease, although I'm really a stranger, obviously a visitor. It just feels so nice to be here. And it was terribly cold this morning. I'm going to go and ask if they've got any gloves. Have you got any gloves? Gloves.
Gloves.
Yeah. There's some gloves there. Like this. Are these made in Lesotho?
Eh?
Made in Lesotho?
Hey, made in
Yeah.
Lesotho.
How much?
Well,
Yeah.
15 rand.
15. Tomorrow morning, warm hands.
Date.
It's fine. Thank you.
5 rand.
Thank you. Nah, it's fine.
5 rand. Oh, date.
Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, daddy.
20 bucks. That's an absolute bargain. And she only wanted to charge me 15. Jordan has been travelling Lesotho intensively for the past 2 years. I asked him his advice on what travellers should expect.
Well, the Lesotho are very friendly people, but they're also a little cautious. So my first word of advice is to be very friendly, not at all arrogant, and the people will welcome you into their homes. They're very nice. Things I'd watch out for are dogs. Dogs in Lesotho can be a little violent sometimes, especially at night. I would recommend that visitors would not approach cattle posts. Cattle posts are when you're driving in the countryside and you see a small little thatched roof hut all by itself with a little rock wall nearby. That's a cattle post. And there will be dogs there who are specifically trained to keep thieves away. And unless the owner of those dogs is there to call those dogs off of you, those dogs will treat you as a potential threat. So that's a big advice. Another thing would be not to give people candy or sweets or treats. If you want to help people, I recommend talking to people in the local government, talking to the local chief and asking them where your contribution would be best received. Well, I recommend that everyone learn at least one word in Sesotho, and that word is dumela. And it's just a standard greeting. As long as you attempt to speak one word, even if you don't know anything in Sesotho, but if you try one word, let that word be dumela. It's a general greeting. People will be very friendly. Lesotho is a great place to camp. You can literally camp anywhere you want to. But what you need to do first is ask for the local chief and ask him permission. There's another word, and it's moreneng. The word for chief in Sesotho is morena. The word for the place of a chief is the moreneng. So you would ask, where is the moreneng, or you can just say the word moreneng, and someone will point you in the right direction where the chief stays. Once you do that, you're under his protection, and anything that happens to you, it falls under his responsibility. So if people come up to you, maybe aggressively, once you've settled down somewhere, you simply tell them the name of the chief, and that you have his or her permission to camp there, and they will treat you with a little more respect.
Right, we're at the top. We've had a short visit in the hotlong. I'm wearing my gloves. It's freezing cold and we're about to head back down. And ask and answer some more buying a four-wheel drive questions. And interestingly though, we'll find some quite different questions on the way down. Here we see driving off-road. The lessons we learn from driving down a hill are so different from those learnt driving uphill. Uphill, low range will give us low speed and control. Downhill, low range will give us safety. One of the most significant aspects of all-wheel drive is safety. Safety on a tar road, safety on a wet road, safety when driving on tracks like this. Our challenge now is to drive 8 kilometers and almost 2,000 feet down using only the brakes to stop us, because this vehicle is not equipped with low range. Low range could mean that we could put it in low range first gear. The gearing is so low, the vehicle will travel so slowly down the hill, even if I don't use any brakes at all. And I can then add a bit of braking to control it a little bit further. I have no low range. I have to do the entire thing on brakes. So the most important questions and decisions you have to make is, do I need low range? And if I don't need low range, investigate the kinds of trips you intend to do and find out if low range is needed, because it makes a significant difference to a vehicle's ability to travel off-road or in difficult and remote places. The second is clearance. Does it have enough clearance? If you're standing in the showroom and it doesn't really look like it has quite enough, but the salesman, ignore the salesman. If it doesn't look like it's got enough, it hasn't got enough. Measuring clearance is not really a good indication of the clearance, because the manufacturer will measure parts of the vehicle that do not actually tell the truth. Does it look good? Does it look like it's got good clearance? Then it has. If it doesn't, it doesn't. A third key element in the selection of an all-wheel drive vehicle are the wheels and tires that it carries. A vehicle with very large rims and therefore narrow, low-profile tires can be a serious problem off-road, because a narrow, low-profile tire means that the rim is much closer to the road, therefore more prone to damage. The tire cannot be let down as much to absorb the shock loads of rocks and off-road terrain. So when you're selecting a vehicle, beware of 19-inch and 18-inch wheel rims. They can be a problem. Even 17-inch can be a problem. The ideal is 16-inch. Why? Because a 16-inch rims allows you to purchase and run on a higher profile tire, which means that when you let down the pressure, the vehicle is able to withstand far more punishment. And a vehicle equipped with such wheels and tires will be far more versatile than a vehicle with low profile wheels. Now it's time to talk about the vehicle we've been driving. This is the brand new Subaru Forester. I'm very lucky to be one of the first to drive it in this country. The category of vehicle, this is what I would call a lightweight SUV all-wheel drive. And it's a true all-wheel drive. And what I mean by that is that all four wheels are driven all of the time. There are many in this class who do not take advantage, the safety advantage of all-wheel drive, because they're two-wheel drive and only four-wheel drive on demand. I.e. when things get slippery, that second axle comes into play and drives the vehicle. That kind of vehicle, that kind of transmission doesn't give the safety that all-wheel drive does. In this category, in my opinion, there are three vehicles that stand out. They are the Nissan X-Trail, Land Rover, the Freelander 2, and this, the Subaru Forester. And of the three, in my book, this is the best. This new model is more of a comfortable ride both on gravel road and on the tar. The ride is definitely softer. Thankfully, they've made up for that by lifting it by 20 millimeters or so. So the vehicle now has a little bit better clearance. The question then remains, if I'm going to select a four-wheel drive and I opt for a light SUV, how much can this vehicle do in terms of off-road, in terms of adventure? Well, I reckon our trip up the Sani Pass is an ideal example of about the limits of what such a vehicle can do safely and without risk of damage. If your idea is to do more adventurous expeditions than we've just done, then think carefully about this class of vehicle. Maybe you need a 4x4 in the traditional sense. Well, I hope you enjoyed the program. There are another 12 like it where we take interesting four-wheel drive vehicles and visit some of the most wonderful parts of the Southern African subcontinent, and I hope you will join us.